You are now listening to the Pelicans post-game report. Flash report.
Big ups to the fam. For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. Much love to the fam. It's Big Q. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. For all things New Orleans Pelicans, PPR is in the building. So big ups to you guys. Appreciate you. Got a flash report. We're going to cover this tonight as we recap the Pels in the Cavaliers matchup. A lot of stuff going on today, Wednesday, as far as the Pelicans concerned. I'm going to try to go over it as thoroughly as I possibly can. And this is coming by way of Will Guillory. Shout out to him. With BI currently dealing with an issue. BI and Trey is out. We know Trey's going to be out. He's on that restriction when they're not going to play back-to-back. But the Pelicans playing tonight game without 7 highest paid players on the roster, not including Jose Alvarado, as Brandon Ingram has a bilateral ankle sprain. And you know about Trey Murphy's right hamstring injury. Management are both listed as out for tonight's matchup. So Brandon Ingram sustained a bilateral ankle sprain. And he's one of the things to kind of talk about here as we kind of go over it. And Fallon is like, hey, Q, a bilateral ankle sprain? What the hell is going on here? Well, anyway, according to some of the medical journals that we've seen on there, that's 2 different basic classifications for it. According to some of the medical information that's talking about those, but bilateral pretty much means like a double ankle sprain, which means both his ankles, according to the medical journals, are listing him like he basically sprained both ankles in a move, which is kind of crazy. And they listed as a very rare injury that happens, but not to the Pelicans, obviously. So BI is basically dealing with that. It, according to some of the medical information that I've done research on, this is not from the team, but based on the information pertaining to what they're giving us, the time frame for rehab on such an injury, bilateral ankle sprains are 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks, and it basically recommends that you keep the ankles in a raised position, gives it a lot of ice and staying off your feet, giving it ice and compression. That's basically what some of it, just to kind of boil it down, to not be overdrawn with the explanation. So once again, bilateral ankle sprains basically breaks down as he sprained both ankles, according to the medical information. And the recovery time is 2 to 3 weeks with his ankles elevated. And they're recommending him stay off his feet and keeping ice on the injury on the ankles to reduce inflammation. And they usually mention that as a 2 to 3 week timeline on such an injury. And they also, like I said before, they say that it is a very rare injury, right? Not for the Pelicans. Now, also to talk about outside of that is the fact that the Pelicans did sign a report here. They did sign Elfred Payton today. Now, we talked about Elfred Payton. He was on the G League team for the Pelicans. We talked about, you know, when everything happened with Jose Alvarado, we thought Elfred Payton would be the guy that they grabbed to give him a veteran point guard to kind of run the team, to keep everybody in some type of role, you know. But they they chose to go with Jaylen Nowell. They signed him to a contract, according to the information that we got, that was for the summation of the year. But it appears not so much, as they have waived Jaylen Nowell. That's right. The Pelicans have signed Elfred Payton, but at the loser of Jaylen Nowell. Now, this was reported by Shams Charania. That's the source. After failing to win a spot on the Wizards season opening roster out of the preseason, he called on with the Pelicans on a 1-year deal. This month, New Orleans was short on healthy bodies. He appeared off the bench in 8 games for the Pelicans. The man averaged 8.4 points per contest, 2.5 rebounds, and 2.3 assists, and 1.3 pointers in 21 minutes, while shooting 35.6% from the floor. The Pelicans will replace Nowell on the 53-man roster with Elfred Payton, who will provide New Orleans with a more traditional option at the point guard position, while DeJounte Murray, who's dealing with a hand issue, Jose Alvarado with a hamstring, are both sidelined. So once again, the Pelicans waived Jaylen Nowell for the roster spot to free up to put Elfred Payton there. which is, like I said, they always listening to PPR, but they're listening to us late as a sun gun, because we made mention of having a more of a floor general when Jose Alvarado went down. But once again, this is the Pelicans. So anyway, to kind of do a brief recap, we talked about, but we knew Trey Murphy wasn't going to be available today. We understood that, knew that, because it's under restriction. And part of the restriction is not just minutes, but he's forbidden to participate in back-to-back games. We knew he wasn't going to play tonight. The BI situation with bilateral ankle sprains, which means two ankle sprains, double ankle sprain, where both of his ankles are sprained, which is an incredibly rare injury, but it happens. Once again, it's a 2 to 3 week timeline. We'll see what severity of the sprain it is, as or if they release such information moving forward. And of course, the information about Elfred Payton joining the Pelicans as they release Jaylen Nowell to free open a spot for Elfred Payton to join the Pelicans to give him that type of floor general. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. PPR in this thing, representing the flock and nation. Stand up for all things Pelicans. Listen, fam, we're going to be back later on tonight. We'll talk more about this, and we'll recap the Cleveland Cavaliers and Pelicans matchup, and we'll talk about all these moves. We'll cover more of the information on what's going on with Brandon Ingram and all that other lovely stuff. So with that being said, share the show, and I'm going to holler at y'all on the flip side. Much love, and go Pels.
Subscribe now and stay up to date for all things New Orleans Pelicans.